let's get to social media, because the Washington Post had a splashy deep dive where they actually, quote, created a database of roughly 15 million videos served up to 1,100 users. They plucked these 1,100 users from their own readership and served up these videos to them in a 6-month period last year. Our analyses showed just how effective TikTok is at getting even its heaviest users to swipe more and watch more on its platform. After 5 months, the data trends for both groups suggested the features of, quote, compulsive behavior, repeatedly feeling urges to do something even if the person thinks it's harmful in the long run. They go on to write that increases in watch time could be signs of binging behavior, where a person finds it hard to stop something once they start, and opening the app more often may represent craving, while the faster swiping for new videos could be an indication of automatic or habitual behaviors. And lastly, Evita, they say research has shown that users on TikTok report being more prone to losing track of time and spending more time in the app than intended, compared with users on Instagram. What we could get into all of this. Obviously, this comes as the TikTok deal looks like it's also been completed, like the sale to U.S. owners, including, of course, Larry Ellison, who seems to be like the reporting suggests one part of a 7-person board that's going to oversee it. The details are a little bit murky right now exactly as to logistically how it gets worked out, but that's how this reporting is, that's when this reporting is landing. I think that's useful context. So tell us, Evita, why you love TikTok and Chairman Xi.
Okay. This is already an attacking, leading question. Katie Porter would not be happy if she was in my shoes.
Yes.
Okay, so Emily, I will say TikTok is addictive. That is 100% true. But so is Instagram Reels, and so is YouTube Shorts. They all have short form video content. And you don't see a massive Washington Post profile about Instagram and about YouTube. And the question is, why is that? Well, now they'll say it's Chinese influence. You don't want the Chinese to influence the American people, to brainwash the minds of our youth. And to that, I would say BS, because our own American social media companies are controlled by our American deep state. This was borne out before all the world with the Twitter files. We saw the way the Biden admin was directly censoring speech on X and presumably Facebook and Instagram and all other American forms of social media because they were American. And there's Section 230, and a veiled threat that they would lose their protections if they don't follow in line with whatever the federal government wants. Now, TikTok being a Chinese app doesn't have those same kind of obligations. They aren't under the same kind of pressure that American social media companies are at. What I think this is a bid to control the minds of Americans. TikTok is a very good app. A lot of people are on it, and the American intel agencies cannot control it like they can other social media companies.
Well, I actually don't disagree with you on that point at all. I think it's fairly clear. We've heard many people actually just say the quiet part aloud. Mike Gallagher is one example of been like, yeah, we have to control TikTok because the narrative is spinning out of control. And they'll blame, for example, China for doing it when I think, very clearly public opinion was organically shifting in the case of Gaza and Israel over the last couple of years. It was, I wouldn't put it past China to sort of be manipulating the algorithm. But the one point that I still disagree with you on is that when the Twitter files came out, we had a measure of at least some democratic and then free market response from the American public. And X is now better than Twitter was. Mark Zuckerberg has been responsive to the American public. And again, that's just in a way that the Chinese government would never have an incentive to be responsive to. In fact, we know that because they largely haven't been responsive to it over the last, 5 years, however long TikTok has been around. So I still think it's better that it's in the hands. I'm not a huge fan of how this deal was gone about, but I guess I still think it is better if it's in the hands of people who are at least marginally responsive to the American public. I don't know.
Oh, that's an okay argument to make, Emily. To say you think it's better in the hands of Larry Ellison than it is with the CCP. Okay, fine. Well, what I'm upset about is the lying, because they'll say this is about protecting your data. This is about your security. Well, okay, first of all, we're not secure with Instagram and Facebook and X and all these other accounts and all these other social media apps that collect our information via the federal government, which itself has been weaponized against the American people many times, including against you and I, Emily. Mm-hmm. And what I'll say is we fix the data problem. So their little argument about how, our data is being stored in China and can be weaponized against America. We already have a deal where the data on TikTok is housed in the United States. So what this deal is about, this latest deal, is about the algorithm, which is my point that this isn't about privacy and data. It never was, because the government never respects our privacy and data. This is about the algorithm. It is about controlling our minds. And in fact, the federal government admits to doing that all the time. CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, publicly said their leader, Jen Easterly, under the Biden admin, that her job is to protect our cognitive infrastructure, meaning our minds. She's literally went out and said, my job is to control the minds of the American people. They're pretty upfront about it. So I just wish they would be upfront about the reason that they're trying to control TikTok.
I think that's a great point, actually, Evita. This is the most that we've agreed on this since like 2020. Recently, I learned about colostrum. Have you learned about it? It is the very first milk known as liquid gold. If you listen to the show a lot, you probably thought I was going to say that in a Trump voice because I did it that way the first time and now I feel trapped. So I pivoted there. But it's known as liquid gold that babies receive from their mothers after birth, packed with proteins, natural growth factors, antimicrobial peptides that work to enhance your immune response, reduce inflammation, repair, and balance gut lining, reduce bloating, and make your hair and skin look amazing. Today's sponsor, Cowboy Colostrum, offers the highest quality cow colostrum available in the U.S., 100% made in America from 100% American grass-fed cows. Don't you love that? They don't overprocess or strip their colostrum, leaving it whole, full fat, and high protein for ultimate nutrient density. It's the highest quality bovine colostrum you can buy. Highest quality bovine you can buy. Cowboy is easy to drink. It's great, made with natural, delicious ingredients and no artificial flavors. Simply add a 3-gram scoop of either their chocolate, Madagascar vanilla, or strawberry into your coffee or smoothie. Personally, I love the strawberry and I love it with milk. So for a limited time, our listeners get up to 25% off their entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/afterparty and use code afterparty at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code afterparty at cowboycolostrum.com/afterparty. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them our show sent you.